Do, 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 do. Oh. Good morning, Munchie Mafia. I don't know why I'm unusually chipper. I haven't had my coffee yet, and I'm screwed by the school bus every time. There's like this sweet spot where I can just leave for work in the morning and I don't have to deal with any of this. So, this is my morning commute, living out in the middle of nowhere in a little historic, extreme rural mountain town of Wilkeson, Washington. I work in Kent, and I'm a jail chef. Actually, my official title is food service director. And good morning. It's a beautiful, dreary Thursday morning. It's almost my weekend. Going on today. It's like I get to spend the afternoon or the whole day with my wonderful, 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 and I'm not saying that sarcastically, um, district manager. We're going to be doing our pre-inventory and go over some things and talk about some other stuff that's been going on in my kitchen. The fucking, as I call it. I'm using the F word a lot today, so I'm a little cranky because I really didn't want to get out of bed. We had to drug the puppy up last night so she would go to sleep, and it's like I had 3 hours sleep last night, which is, 1 hour less than, fucking A, make up your mind, man. Sit there and wait, and you don't want to go, and it's like, figure it out. So this is the traffic of all the people that are trying to get their kids to school, because there's really not a lot out here. Uh, so I can't imagine anybody wanting to go into or go out of town to go into town, because we don't have any shopping plazas or anything like that. So yeah, pre-inventory. Tomorrow is like a really stressful day, but I have to go and see the accountant for the jail because um, I I shit the bed big time on my paperwork. So it's like in order to be able to get that all resolved, it's like I have to go and talk to the accountant and say, yes, I screwed up. I'm so sorry, and be accountable for my dumbassery. So that's always fun. And she was I was talking to her on the phone because we were trying to coordinate when I could come down and see her so that we could figure this out, because it's like there was a question concerning one of the inmates that came in. He observes Ramadan and needed to do his fasting and stuff. Yet, uh, so I prepared all that for. Okay, so he gets no breakfast, no lunch, and he gets double stack lunch or stack dinner for dinner time. So he doesn't even get hot food for the whole time of Ramadan. And well, the next morning was the morning that all power was shut off to the jail. We had very limited power. It's like all I had were lights. I couldn't even fire up my coffee pot. So it's like I was like, okay, so thank goodness I've got a case of Starbucks Frappuccinos in the back of my car, because I would have been like, oh no, how am I going to get through my day without a whole bunch of caffeine? And so I got there super early that morning to make sure that they had enough Zach breakfasts is everybody got sack breakfast. And so my Ramadan, and he's not going to fast. He's breaking his fast, and I'm like, okay, so he's breaking his fast, so now that throws my numbers off, and so that's one day of it, and so we got to fix the other 6 days. So I got to talk to her about that. That since we had no power until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, actually it was past 4 o'clock in the afternoon last Wednesday. I had already put in my numbers the night before, so that I had all my numbers, as accurate as humanly possible. But yeah, so I I'm putting my my basic accounting skills to good use. I really can math. I really can. It's just hard. There's just a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. I don't like moving parts, but I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out, and my boss is happy with me. I think at least he tells me he's happy with me. Everybody at the jail likes me. All the corrections officers like me. I walk in, and I'm like, "Good morning," all chipper and stuff. And they're like looking at me like, "Yeah, give it another 6 months, and you're gonna be jaded just like the rest of us." Which I'm sure that there's a lot of other things involved with that. It's like I don't think they're that jaded. I think they're just hyper focused on their tasks at hand, how to keep themselves safe, how to keep their coworkers safe, how to keep everybody safe. So they got that in the back of their mind. It's like all the thoughts that are going through their minds got to be exhausting. So I'm sure that they're not all being or actually there's a few of them that kind of act like a little antisocial, but I think it's because they got a lot on their mind, you know, and that's a hard job, wondering whether or not you're going to get hit with a food tray or something, and having to deal with contraband, and what constitutes contraband, so I, one of the things that really irked me yesterday that I failed to mention was that we use plastic sporks uh, for all the meals, and Cisco had shorted me 3 cases of sporks, and I've got like 2 cases in house and a partial. And so I asked my boss, I said, "So can I bring in my own tasting spoons?" He goes, "Yeah, sure, as long as they're not metal." I'm like, "Oh, crap. Okay, never mind. I'll figure something else out." So, um, yeah, so now I'm like short on spoons, but he said that he was going to stop off at Cash and Carry on the way in to pick me up some sporks, and it's all good. It's like, wow, it's like night and day. I think about where I came from and where I'm at now, and I've got a lot of support. It's like anytime I need help with something or I got a question, I can just load up Microsoft Teams and send a send a chat message, because we do pretty much a lot of communication through Microsoft Teams, um, and a lot of our meetings are virtual, so we use that a lot, and it's just cool because it's like if I have a question, this really isn't important. You don't have to stop what you're doing to answer my question, but here's my question. Just answer at your convenience. And I usually get an answer back. Sometimes I don't get an answer back. I think probably because I should probably pose the questions in separate sentence or separate paragraphs so that it's not multi-part. Because I notice that a lot of people when they're perusing text that's got multiple questions, unless you've got them out in bullet points, they're just going to see the first question, answer the first question, skim the rest of it, and not answer it. So, hi, main girl. Good morning to you, darling. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to stop and get my coffee here real quick because I got quite a bit of time to burn. There's already a car there. Let's see if there's a car on the other side. Yeah, all these little strip malls. All used to be just farmland. So this coffee stand is Cafe Elite in Bonnie Lake. I pass by a lot of coffee stands, but this one's my favorite because my girls know how I like my coffee, and they make a good coffee. And just be a second. Let me order my coffee real quick. Actually, don't really have to order my coffee. Good morning, sunshine. I'm doing fantastic. How about you? Great. May I have an extra shot on top of the extra shot? Sure, no problem. Awesome. Thank you. Tomorrow's my Friday, and it's a real Friday. I'm so not used to this. Still not used to it. Well, starting next month, apparently, I'll be having Friday, Saturday, Sunday off instead of Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but that's gonna be cool. 3 of the best days of the week, and it's like, okay. So. Oh my goodness. Yes, the once, actually, thrice not family-friendly barista stand. It's just changed hands so many times, and yeah, they just make a good coffee. So, oh, show you some of the prison recipes. Oh, unfortunately, I can't do videos at work. They would frown upon that, but um, yeah, the prison recipes are quite funny. I'll have to I'll have to explain that as soon as we get the car going again. It's hilarious. Yay, a straw, a lonely little straw. Yes, it does. But your coffee is always excellent. I don't know. Lately, some of the new girls that's been coming through here, they've been doing a great job. Yeah, yeah. Some of the past ones that you had, it's like, I was like, maybe I need to go find a new stand on those days. I keep meaning to ask them, so what days do you work, darling? So that I can avoid them. But yeah, lately it's like, I don't know. Oh, good. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. It's just, yeah, consistency is key, right? Perfect. Well, I hope you have a great day. Thanks. You too, sweetheart. All right. So prison recipes. Um, we don't feed any pork product whatsoever. Um, we also don't feed them any beef except for like once a month, and it's pre-charbroiled patties. They're already cooked. All we have to do is just stick them in the oven and heat them up and call it a day. They don't get they don't get really fancy food. Um, they get these. The meat that we use is this mechanically separated uh, chicken and turkey mix. It's pink, and it's very fine mechanical. I guess the correct word would be like pink slime. You've heard of the pink slime, um, the whole pink slime controversy behind the chicken McNugget. Well, that's kind of what we're using, and we use that for just about everything. Then we get this stuff called turkey ends and pieces, which is all all the all the scrap deli meat turkey, and I'm not sure if there's chicken in there too. I would have to look, but I think it's all turkey. And these are all like scrap pieces that come from manufacturers like Boar's Head and Dietz and Watson. Just end pieces and random pieces from when they do their own pre-sliced deli meats and stuff like that. And if the machine malfunctions, but the product is still servable, they'll put it into these big, you know, bulk cases, and it's actually a decent product. I mean, it's like, I personally, when I go and get deli meat from the grocery store, we have Kroger's out here, and it's like there's two Kroger's side by side of each other. One's a Fred Meyer, the other one's a Safeway, and they carry the Dietz and Watson, and it's like that stuff's actually pretty decent. So we use that, and I refuse to buy instant mashed potatoes because why pay all this money for instant mashed potatoes when a fresh potato costs a lot less? And so my boss is like, well, it's going to show that you're overusing the fresh potatoes, because there's certain things that we do use fresh potatoes for. And he's like, it's going to show that you're going to be overusing that in your in your reports. So just bear in mind until we can get the corporate dietitian to go ahead and change that uh, to fresh mashed potato. So I'm saving money that way. So like today, I'm doing turkey and gravy. I make gravy, and it's with a chicken base, water, powdered milk, because we don't carry gallons of milk or anything like that. We carry the little half pints for breakfast. So breakfast usually consists of like a cereal, or as a Winnie would put it, uh, a chilled breakfast soup. Um, and it's usually Rice Krispies, uh, Cheerios, or Corn Flakes, and um, then they get a whole orange that's fresh, because we don't do canned fruit. I got a lot of applesauce on my shelf that I got to figure out what the hell to do with. But then they get a hard boiled egg, and the guys, they bake stuff for the meals. So it's like sometimes they get coffee cake, sometimes they just get bread. We don't give them toast. They don't get scrambled eggs. They don't get like typical breakfast. This is like, you're in jail. You know, we're trying to feed you as cheaply as possible because we're feeding you on taxpayers' dime. So we keep that in mind. My budget per person is, you know, hardly anything at all. But rightfully so. It's like this is coming out of the taxpayers' pockets. You know, so one of the things is that they, these menus, they rotate um, in 5 week cycles. So it's like every 5 weeks it's the same damn thing, but at the same time it's like the same damn thing week after week, just about. So like today is the turkey and gravy and mashed potatoes and a vegetable for lunch, and then I don't remember what I'm supposed to be making for dinner, but it's something. And then they get corn dogs, but the corn dogs come to us pre-made. We don't make them from scratch. We don't have a deep fryer. I only have a two-burner stove, a double-decker oven, and a flat top, and this giant 50-gallon frickin' kettle. But we don't use it because it's not a tilt kettle, and in order for us to clean it, it's a pain in the ass. You have to, be very careful with cleaning that thing because you can burn yourself. And the thing literally comes up to probably my underboob. And the thing is huge. No, actually shorter than that. It comes up to my belly button, maybe just an inch above that. But we do we bake just about everything. So everything has to be baked in the oven, which makes life go really easy. It's quick and fast. It's like we only cook 2 meals. The inmates, they set up the breakfast trays and put them all out on carts, and the corrections officers, they come and get the carts in the morning and they pass them out. We have 2 different kinds of trays. We have got a floppy tray, which is made out of silicone, and then we got a hard tray. And the soft trays are for the people that could potentially use them as weapons. And then of course they get plastic sporks. So everything has to be soft enough to be able to not break the spork. Then they get a dessert. Sometimes they get a salad, but the salad isn't like what the typical person would expect in a salad with the tomatoes and the cucumbers and stuff like that. It's just the iceberg lettuce mix, and we toss it in salad dressing. Like when we're doing chicken patty sandwiches, it's like they get a bun, they get the chicken patty, and then they don't get tomatoes and lettuce and onions and all the other happy horse shit. Thank God, because it's like I don't have knives. We're not allowed knives. One of these days, I'm going to have to do a demo on using a bench scraper as a knife. I keep meaning to ask the commander, could we please have knives on a tether? Some knife manufacturers actually makes knives specific to corrections facilities, and they have a hole in them where either a chain or one of those braided cables goes through, and it locks onto something, so they can't run off with it. But there's other things in the kitchen that can be used as freaking weapons, for crying out loud. But corrections officer came in to the kitchen yesterday and was like, "So, are you guys behaving yourselves?" And I looked up at him and I go, "They're perfect angels for me. I don't know what your problem is." And they're like, and he's like, "Oh, angels they are." I said, "Yeah. I mean, look at this kitchen. It's clean. They're happy. They're not fighting. They're happy to be there. They're happy to oblige. Anything I ask them to do, I don't tell them to do anything except for the frickin' pepper packets yesterday. It's like, if you're gonna sit your ass on a damn milk crate, you're gonna sort through these and find all the empties. But I'm not gonna let my squirrel go back to that again. So you guys have already heard that. So yeah, so it's like 100 different ways to cook ends and pieces, and this mechanically separated chicken that comes in these huge bricks. I mean, not bricks, but they're in these huge boxes, and it's like, God. and we have to thaw them out. And when they thaw out, um, end up with all this pink jizz. So we have to have catch pans underneath. It's pretty gross. Um, but the product isn't bad. It's not horrible. Would I feed it to my family? Probably not, because I'm not really all that fond of ground chicken and ground turkey. I mean, there comes a time and a place where it's okay. But I'm making meatloaf patties, which is that mechanically separated stuff, and we don't have a lot of fancy ingredients, so we use quick oats uh, to act as a binder for those, and then um, so I when you earn your title as a chef, you earn it for life. It's yours forever. Once when someone has given you that title, it's yours. Can't take it away from you. Um, because that's that's the beauty of having the Munchie Mafia, is that I could I have my creative outlet through YouTube, and I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. I'm okay with you know making good money, working in a jail, cooking food. I don't cook a lot of food, but 'cause I'm doing a lot of other things. A lot of paperwork, a lot of ordering, a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of coordination with medical, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like my creative outlet can be YouTube. You guys can watch me be a dumpster fire on YouTube cooking up stuff, but it seems like y'all are really enjoying my morning commutes and my coming home commutes and listening to how my day was and what I have planned for my day, and whatever comes out of my mouth. Um, you guys seem to be enjoying that. Once when the weather starts really getting nice, start taking you down to some of my favorite haunts. Um, one of the places, a couple of the places that um, my dad and I used to go fishing. Um, I really miss my dad. I wish I could spend an afternoon out there on the pier with my dad fishing. Um, so it's like, hopefully before too long, Timmy will be mobile enough to be able to, you know, maybe he and I can, go fishing together. Um, so anyway, so that's what meals are all about. I don't do a lot of canned stuff. I mean, the only canned stuff that I've got is like canned tomatoes, canned tomato paste, uh, certain type of canned beans. We have dried pinto beans, um, and I cook anywhere from I'm lucky because I don't work on the weekends, which I've seen numbers where they're up in the hundred plus um, over the weekends. My average is like maybe 5, maybe 90. The most I've ever had to deal with was probably 96. Um, and yeah, but yeah, I could show you some prison recipes. Definitely go and buy some of these ingredients and replicate what it is that we cook, so you can see what it is. Maybe I'll go and buy myself one of those trays and show you how we plate that. We don't make it all pretty and stuff, but we just plate it clean. as clean as humanly possible. So we've just left the Lake Tapps, the backside of the Lake Tapps area. Now we're going down into the Auburn area. Yeah, there's a couple little dead zones here and there, so just bear with me. Um, I remember back in the day when all this was just nothing but trees as well. It's like trees and trees and trees. Now we got housing developments popping up, um, and not so much down here because it's just an area that's not really. Yeah, we got one dead zone. Um, yeah, there's. There we go. Now we're in color. Oh yeah, go this way. It's gonna be faster, they say. And I see a lot of red, and of course, there's no way to turn back unless I want to, backtrack like 8 miles back up the hill. I swear to God, this is nuts. Just so y'all know, I can't read. I still don't have new bifocals, so I have to take my glasses off. Uh, it's they the corrections officers wants me to they're encouraging me to take this class on over at the police academy or corrections academy. They want me to take this corrections crash course thing, and it they show you all the ways that you know inmates can use typical things as weapons and what they do to create these weapons and and more psychological training as far as being able to spot certain red flags like manipulation tactics, how criminals um, can manipulate you and make you think that uh, they're being helpful when they're actually manipulating you into how to get information, personal information out of you, like, what's your full name, and and do you have kids, and how old are your kids, and where do you live, and try to get you to do things like, you know, I guess apparently there was a situation where one of the food service directors got manipulated to the point where he was bringing drugs into the prison or into the jail. Um, they can do that sort of thing. They can be really 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 sneaky about that sort of thing. So the whole psychological aspect of it uh, actually sounds like it could be fun. It could be challenging. It could be something different, something new. So it's like there's just all these avenues that I can explore in this, and I yeah, it's like I want more. I love knowledge, and I hate being bored. Um, and when I do the same thing day in and day out for too long, I get bored, and then next thing I know it's like, you know, I'm looking for the next new adventure. We're going over the bridge, over the Green River into Auburn. Look at these beautiful, beautiful cherry blossoms. Aren't they just gorgeous? Um, they're just stunning. Wish I could come through here midday when the lighting is so much better because these things are just brilliant. I love the way that they incorporated these into the city street here. Um, it just adds character and they only bloom for so long, and then they just the blossoms go away, leave all these little streaks of pink all over the pavement. They're just you just you look at them and it's like it just doesn't ever get old. It's like the whole circle of life. It's like these trees go dormant, and then that spring is on its way. Longer days, warmer weather, less rain, less this, less that, more of this. When those cherry blossoms come out, and the daffodils and crocuses start to bloom, and then and then um, and then the tulips. It's like I would love to take you guys to go see the tulips. Timmy's not mobile enough. I don't think he'll be mobile enough to be able to do that because we're just weeks away from tulip season, when the Skagit Valley just totally, totally just erupts in all these colors, rows upon rows of colors, of pinks and reds and pinks combined, and oranges and yellows and whites, and yeah. So if you like tulips, there's a website. It's called Color Blend, and they sell some of the most interesting tulips. The tulip bulbs, and some of them are quite exotic looking. Some of them look like snake skin, um, and they're just some of them look really, really, really goofy. I love tulips. Tulips are actually my favorite flower. Not roses, but tulips. Although there's a specific tulip or a specific rose that I like. And it's not red, it's not pink, it's not yellow, contrary to my former husband's firm belief that I was into yellow roses. There's actually a blushing purple rose called the Sterling. Um, it's not quite white. It's not quite lavender. Um, that's my favorite rose. I'm not really a rose person. I like tulips. Um, and now we're on the edge of downtown Auburn. Now, God, that car in front of me really needs a wash. Mine needs a wash too. So I had this dream last night, which is funny because I, I'm 8 years post-op from brain surgery, from having brain tumor number one taken out of my head, and I haven't experienced dreams much up until recently. And it's like they're very vivid and they're very twisted. It's like I wake up. Sometimes I don't remember them until like hours later, after I've gotten up out of bed. But I was in some touristy little town somewhere, and I'm not entirely sure where I was, but I'd never seen the place before. But I was staying at a bed and breakfast, and I kept trying to talk to the innkeeper of the bed and breakfast about my room being filled with puppies, and they were all under the bed, and they were, just getting into everything and anything, and just kind of annoying the hell out of me and keeping me awake all night. And I mean, the room was just full of puppies, and I would pick up a puppy and I'd go and place it in the closet, and go and get another puppy and placed it in a closet. And it's like they were like coming out of nowhere. It's like I would get rid of one or put one away, and I was like stacking them in the closet. I mean, I had the closet just filled all the way to the top with all these puppies, and they were just not any specific puppy like our Tibetan Spaniels, but they were just a bunch of puppies. I mean, different breeds, and they were stacked one on top of each other, and I ran out of space, and I was freaking out because I was running out of space in the closet. So I started stacking them in the bathtub, and then started putting them in drawers and in the wardrobe, in the TV cabinet, and it was like, and all these puppies just kept showing up out of nowhere, and it's like this innkeeper is like, "What are you talking about? There's no puppies in your room." And I'm like, "The hell there isn't. Come and look." And so she decides that she's going to humor me by going into my room to look for these puppies. And she opens up the closet, and all of these cream pies come flopping out, just flooding the whole room. It's like chocolate cream pies, coconut cream pies, banana cream pies, uh, sour cream raisin pies, which are actually fairly decent. But pecan, there was even a pecan pie. I mean, just pies everywhere. It's like, and then she's arguing with me about, well, what did you do? What is this? It's going to take thousands of dollars to clean this up. You're not expecting me to pay it, are you? You're going to have to pay this. There's going to be a surcharge for this. And I'm like, no, they were puppies. And then she starts eating these pies. And she grabs a pie and she starts eating it. And she goes, "This is actually pretty good." And I'm like, "Stop! That's a puppy." So it's like, what the hell? And if anybody is into dream interpretation, please let me know what the hell that means, because that was just bizarre. It's like, wow. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the animals were all harassing me or something while I was sleeping. Ended up being incorporated into my dreams that way, but it was bizarre. It was the most bizarre thing. So if anybody knows why bed and breakfasts incurred surcharges for mass mess and 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 all the other stuff. I mean, it was just weird. It was just freaking weird. Like there were like hundreds and hundreds of puppies all stacked on top of each other, and they were all alive. They were all alive. They weren't dead. They were all alive. But I was stacking them like Jenga. It was like puppy Jenga. They all stood on top of each other and just stayed there, and it's like, stay, 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 good dog. It's like, yeah, they were they were being obedient, but they were, I don't know. Somebody please tell me what this means. What does any of it mean? Or maybe it's just meaningless. I don't know. So, we're headed on to Auburn Way North, and I've just got 3.5 miles before I'm to work. Yay. Go team.